In this video, I'm going to show you how to assign multiple stroke settings to a single path. And to do this, what we need to do first is go to our Appearance panel. So I'm going to open the Appearance panel here. I can also access it through my Properties panel. If I click on the ellipses here, it's already open, so it came up, but I just went under the Window menu to get it. Okay, so with my path selected, my Appearance panel is going to give me information about my color attributes. So right now there's a white fill. I don't need a fill, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn this off, and I have a 1-point black stroke. I can make any changes I need to right here in my Appearance panel. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this stroke much thicker. I'm going to just go to do it like 72 points. Something like this. I'm gonna make something that looks like a strip of film based on strokes. So I have a black 72-point stroke, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add another stroke to the same path by highlighting the stroke here and clicking on the duplicate selected item, and now I have two strokes. Both of them are now exactly the same 72-point black strokes. So I'm going to change the one on top. So this is my stacking order. From bottom up, I'm working from bottom up. So I'm going to change this one to a white stroke, and I'm going to change its weight so that it is less than 72, so that we can see a little bit of the black stroke visible as it overhangs the width of the white stroke. All right, on this stroke now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sprocket holes in the film. So I'm going to click on the word stroke here, which gives me my stroke panel. I'm going to turn on my dash, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a 6-point dash and no gap. So it's going to repeat 6-point dash gap back and forth, and that should do that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this 72-point black stroke again. And I can drag this, I can rearrange these, there we go, so that I've got the black stroke, the white one, and the new black stroke. And I'm going to change its stroke weight now to, let's do it 48. Okay, so it is now sitting on top, so we can see what's going on. It's sitting on top of the white dash stroke. That gives me the sprocket holes. And I've been doing this just real simple math. I'm basically subtracting 12, which gives me 6 points on each side. You could do this with any combination of numbers, but it's good to understand what the base is that you're doing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more stroke, and I'm just going to click on this top one. And I can add a stroke this way as well. So I'm going to click on this button to show you that I can do that. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to duplicate the stroke that is currently active. I'm going to make this one white by clicking on the thumbnail there. And I'm going to continue with my minus 12 points on each one. So there we go. That's 12 points now. Whoops, excuse me. That's silly. I'm going to go 36 points. 48 minus 12 is 36 instead of typing in 12. And you can see now that I have a white stripe on top of the black one. This stroke now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn on my dashed line. And on this, I'm going to make a 36-point dash. And I will put a 6-point gap so it falls something like that. All right, so I'm going to turn these off so we can see how they are. So on the top, I have a dashed white line, 36 point. I have a solid black stroke that is 48 point on top of that. And then there is a 60-point dash stroke and a 72-point solid stroke underneath. So by stacking these all in one path, I got something that looks much more complicated than a single stroke. And now you could experiment with this, putting round caps on and all sorts of different things to get the possibilities are just infinite. as you explore with it. Now, the last thing I want to do though is if I go through the trouble of creating something like this, it's worth saving. So what I'm going to do now is go under my window menu to my graphic styles. My graphic styles allow me to save settings for my appearance panel. So I have my path still selected, and I can click here, and I've saved it. Since this is all these settings are on one path, I can update the shape of the path, adjust it with handles or whatever, and the stroke is going to update with it. But since I've saved it, I can draw a whole new shape. I'm going to draw an ellipse right now. Maybe I'll make it a circle. And if I click on my graphic style, it's going to apply it. So now it applied to a circle.